Hey everybody, welcome back to RacquetGuys. Today we're going to take a look at the new Head Extreme Pro 2024. Before we get started on the full review and how this racket actually played, we got to talk about some of the specs and the different technologies that Head added to the Extreme Pro for 2024. First of all, the specs actually remained mostly unchanged from the previous generation. We have a 98 square inch head size, 16 by 19 string pattern, 305 grams unstrung weight, 8 points headlight balance. Swing weight is still very similar, right about 321. Stiffness rating is fairly flexible for an extreme at 63, at least our model was. The major change that Head has done for 2024 is they've added Auxetic 2.0. Basically, they've added Auxetic technology to a few more places in the frame, just to try to give it even more of a solid feel and to give you a little bit more precise feedback. I actually really enjoyed hitting with the new Extreme Pro. I felt that the biggest difference for me, while the Auxetic 2.0 definitely did make a difference, and it did feel a little bit more solid for me, I actually think that might have been a little bit more attributed to the slightly different swing weight. The new one for me definitely felt a little bit heavier through the swing, kind of felt a little more natural to drive through the ball, which for me is great because I do tend to have a little bit more of a flatter swing and drive through the ball. Whereas with the previous gen, I felt it really wanted to be nice and whippy, really low to high swing pass. Great for a lot of players and probably great for most players out there actually. But for me, I felt that that was a bit of an adjustment. I felt, especially off the backhand side, I really had to adjust my swing so I wasn't early and mishitting the ball a little bit too often. With the new gen, because it's not quite as whippy, I didn't have that problem. I was able to kind of hit through it, really kind of hit that nice deep penetrating ball flight that I like instead of sort of looping it a little bit more. With the slightly smaller 98 square inch head size as well, as compared to the MP, I felt there's just a little bit more control, a little bit more reined in, so you can kind of really go after your shots. And when you do, you tend to get a ton of spin, which is exactly what the Extremes are made for. They're built to generate a ton of spin, and I definitely felt there was no issues there hitting with a ton of spin. At net and on serves, I felt it was extremely solid, really easy to handle the ball at net, nice and maneuverable, so I never felt rushed at net. Through serves, really easy to get good, solid contact. Because of the change in the swing weight, I did feel that with the new Pro that I was maybe getting a little bit flatter of a serve, but it's such a small difference that it's kind of really hard to say if that's just the swing weight or even just when I was hitting that I felt it was easier to hit that serve. Overall though, definitely the Auxetic 2.0 made a little bit of a difference there, a little more solid. I kind of worried that it might potentially be a little bit muted, at least more muted than the Tour was, but really wasn't an issue for me. I kind of like a little bit of a muted frame, so for me, not a problem. The other kind of change that Head did, while it's small, and I did touch on it a bit earlier, is they changed the name. They went from the Tour back to calling it the Extreme Pro. Personally, I think that's a great change. While the name shouldn't matter too much, I do think that calling it the Pro kind of brings it back in line with what they used to be, a little more recognizable. It's kind of easy to tell that it's a little bit heavier, a little more sort of professional oriented if you want. So I really like that change as well. Overall, great frame, tons of spin, really solid. And if you're an aggressive player, I think you're gonna find a lot to love here. If you're looking at the Extreme Pro, I would also take a look at a couple other frames. The Onyx V-Core 98, the Wilson Blade 98 16 by 19, and probably the Babolat Pure Aero 98 as well. All very similar spec, somewhat similar play styles in that they're trying to generate a lot of spin. Save for the blade, not quite so much, but I think the spec-wise kind of brings it right in line with what the Extreme is as well. Thanks everyone for watching. If you have any questions about the Extreme Pro 2024, or if you have any suggestions of videos that you'd like to see or rackets you'd like to see us review, let us know down in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and that bell notification button to keep up with all of our latest videos. We'll see you guys next time.